Welcome to Eerie Trail, where forgotten roads, haunted silence, and long shadows tell stories no one else dares to remember. If you're drawn to the strange, the lost, and the unsettling, you're in the right place. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more stories that don't just scare, they stay with you. They call it Demon Road, though that's not the name on any official sign. Out there in Bexar County, just outside San Antonio, where the trees lean too close to the asphalt and the air always smells like hot iron, there's a stretch of road locals won't drive after dark. The map calls it something else, an old farm to market route with a number no one remembers, but ask around at any bar in the area, especially once the whiskey starts flowing, and someone will bring it up, always with the same phrase: don't drive Demon Road after sundown. I didn't believe in that sort of thing back then. I was a journalist working on a long-dead podcast about forgotten places in Texas, and that name, Demon Road, hooked me like a rusty nail through the skin. I thought it sounded perfect for a Halloween special, especially if I could catch something spooky on tape. The idea was to drive the whole thing at night, alone, with a dashboard cam and a field recorder. Narrate my experience, cut in some history, and add sound design later. I'd done ghost towns and supposed haunted bridges before. All of them ended in nothing. Just empty spaces with stories passed down like campfire ash. That's what I expected from Demon Road too. I packed light. Just the mic, a flashlight, and a Smith & Wesson .38 I kept under the seat for rattlesnakes and the occasional stray meth head. I started the drive around 9:30 p.m. The sun had been down for an hour, and the moon was just a thumbnail in the black. It was hot Texas late summer hot, the kind of sticky, suffocating heat that clings to your back like a wet rag. The road started off paved but quickly shifted to cracked asphalt, then to gravel. The deeper I went, the less my GPS knew where I was. It kept rerouting or freezing. No cell service. Just the crunch of tires on loose stone, and the hum of my own voice as I started narrating. At approximately 9:47 p.m., I've entered the stretch locals call Demon Road. There's no signage, no lighting, and very little evidence this road is even maintained anymore. I drove slow, watching the woods on either side close and like a mouth. Spanish moss hung from the trees in long gray tongues, and the darkness between trunks was thick and absolute. Even with my high beams on, I couldn't see far. Every shadow looked like it might move, and after about 10 minutes, I started noticing something strange with the trees. They were bent. Not all of them, but enough that it stuck out. Bent away from the road, like they were growing backward, leaning as if recoiling from the gravel. I slowed to look closer. The bark on some of them was stripped, deep vertical gouges that didn't look like storm damage or woodpeckers. It looked like claw marks. At 10:02, I made my first mistake. I stopped the car. Something had darted across the road low and fast, too fast to be a deer, too smooth to be a coyote. I paused the recording and got out, flashlight in hand. The air hit me like a breath from a sick animal, still and rank. The kind of heat that shouldn't exist at night. Crickets had stopped chirping. Even the frogs had gone quiet. The flashlight cut a narrow cone through the dark. I followed the edge of the trees, scanning the brush for movement. That's when I saw the hoof print. Now, you might be thinking deer or maybe a stray cow from some broken fence, but this wasn't like any hoof print I'd ever seen. It was deep too deep for something light and narrow, with a sharp split that didn't curve like normal. It was fresh, too. No leaves inside, no time for dust to settle. And there were more. Dozens of them, walking in a perfect line along the ditch, disappearing into the woods. I went back to the car, locked the doors. I should have turned around right then, but the part of my brain that chased stories was louder than the part that whispered fear. I kept driving. At 10:18, I passed what looked like an old barn, or maybe a church. Hard to tell in the dark. It was collapsed inward, like something had punched the roof from above, and the wood was black, not just burned, but rotted, even in. The dark, I could see movement inside. Slow, swaying. I didn't stop. Just turned the camera toward the window, hoping it caught something I didn't want to see with my own eyes. At 10:31, the radio came on. I hadn't touched it. My hand wasn't even near the dial. Static at first, then something beneath it. A voice, low and garbled, like a transmission from underwater. No lyrics, just humming. The melody was wrong, disjointed, like someone trying to remember a song from a dream. I reached for the power button and it cut off before I touched it. That's when I saw the girl. She stood on the side of the road, barefoot, wearing what looked like a white shift, long black hair. Head tilted too far to one side like it didn't sit right on her neck. She didn't move. Didn't look at me. Just stood there as I passed, her face catching in my high beams for a split second. No eyes, just smooth skin where they should have been. The tires slid on gravel as I hit the gas, heartbeat thudding like a war drum. I drove blind, fast, and stupid. Every part of my brain screamed to get off that road, but it didn't end. The GPS still dead. No turnoffs. No landmarks. Just more of the same endless stretch. More trees, more shadows, more nothing. And then it was behind me. I didn't see it so much as feel it. Like heat at my back. Something tall. Heavier than the car. Keeping pace without effort. I didn't dare look in the mirror. I just kept going, the car screaming in protest as I pushed it faster over terrain it wasn't built for. The smell hit. First, sulfur and rot. Then the sound. A low growl but wet, like lungs filled with fluid. The hair on my arms rose, my throat closed. And then silence. No road, no trees, just blackness. When I came to, the sun was rising. I was parked outside a gas station off the 90, maybe 40 miles from where I'd started. The car had no dirt on it. The dashcam footage was gone. Not erased, never recorded. The field recorder was cracked and dead, and the only thing left was the hoof print, burned into the hood of my car like a brand. I tried to publish the story. No one believed me. My editor said it read like fiction. A bad one. Said I'd made it up to save a failing podcast. Maybe he was right. I don't know anymore. I've gone back since. Tried to find the turnoff. The same stretch of highway, but it's not there. Or maybe it moves. Some say roads remember things. Blood spilled. Sins committed. Dark deals whispered under moonlight. Maybe Demon Road remembers more than it should. Maybe it feeds on that remembering. All I know is this: don't drive it after dark. And if you do, don't ever stop. Stop.